Now, good morning, viewers from across the globe. Today is Friday, July 24th. The 2026 Commonwealth Games have officially kicked off in Glasgow, Scotland, with a riveting opening ceremony at Oval Hydro Arena, attended by King Charles III and Queen Consort Camilla, as Nigeria's 72 athletes marched proudly into the arena. And over in the United States, a man was shot and killed by police officers in Madison, Wisconsin, after officials say he pulled out a knife and injured an officer, sparking immediate protests in the city and reigniting America's fierce debate over police use of force. Let's dive right in. I'm OjyOkpe, and this is what's trending. Now, before we dive deeper, let's see what you're talking about right now. We've been tracking conversations on X, Facebook, our YouTube live feed, and of course, Leke. And three stories are dominating your timelines this morning. Trending at number one, fears and prayers filled social media on Thursday afternoon after an Enugu Air aircraft carrying 68 passengers and crew overshot the runway at Benin Airport, veering off into a bushy area. The NSIB has launched an immediate investigation. We have the details. Now, trending at number two, Senate President Godswill Akpabio finds himself in hot water as Senator Adams Oshiomhole playfully calls him out for breaching their political truce with a comment about massaging a woman's leg on a private aircraft. Now, trending at number three, giant clusters of strange white foam appeared on the Kaduna-Abuja Expressway on Thursday, attracting many curious onlookers, leaving them asking, what exactly is this mysterious substance on one of Nigeria's busiest highways? Now, here is where you come in. Join the conversation. Use the hashtag What's Trending with OjyOkpe. Comment on our live feed, and of course, Leke. Tell me which of these stories matters most to you, because for the next hour, we're going into everything that has Nigeria and the rest of the world buzzing. But first, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu takes a swipe at ADC presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar during a Northeast stakeholders visit, accusing him of privatizing government assets and leaving pensioners unpaid. Let's watch.
I could see the leadership of Northeast challenged because of terrorism and banditry. I could see our collaboration, that we work together. Only we stick together, we think together, we face the challenges the best way possible as a united country. The golden age is here now. If you can stabilize the economy, Nigerians are not asking for too much. Simple stability, social welfare. And among the visitors today are some pensioners. I hope you are receiving your pensions if you are afflicted with government. So if I can go political, somebody among my prospective opponents, they privatized government investments in public-private entities, but they forget to pay the pension. I'm clearing the pensioners now. So clearing the mess they created. But I won't complain. The integrity and the commitment that you show me all from Northeast, we have our hands on the plow, we're never going to look back.
Well, all right. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu did not mention Atiku by name, but nobody missed the target. He was speaking while receiving Northeast stakeholders at the State House in Abuja, led by Borno State Governor Professor Babagana Zulum, who came to thank the president for renominating Vice President Kashim Shettima for 2027. Well, this is not the first time the president has taken this swipe. He made similar remarks in April, questioning whether anything the opposition privatized is working today. Well, Atiku previously described those remarks as a reckless tirade that exposes a troubling pattern of hypocrisy and historical amnesia, defending the privatization program as necessary reform and pointing to companies like Owando and Transcorp Hilton as proof of its success. Nigerians are reacting to the story. But first, good morning, Dr. Abati. Good morning, Ayo. Good morning. Rufy on fire, TGIF. TGIF. Finally, right? Okay. But like I said, Nigerians are reacting to this story, obviously, and it was last night. Yes, absolutely. You look dapper, by the way. Anyways, I'll take this reaction.
Thank your friend.
Yes, I know who to thank. Can I mention her name? Miss Kikelomo. Well, all right. I'll take this reaction from Kabir, who wrote, "Sorry, Mr. President, but your promises no longer carry much weight with us. You promised us stable electricity, yet today we're still battling darkness. Mr. President, you criticize privatization as private sector participation is inherently responsible for Nigeria's failures. Yet, under your administration, we have also seen major transactions involving the transfer and restructuring of strategic energy assets between NNPC and private companies, including the government-approved transfer of NAOC's Nigerian assets to Owando. Your Excellency, you speak of a mess that was created. Shall we also talk about the state of insecurity in the country under your watch? The enormity of that mess alone dwarfs whatever you claim you have inherited. Daddy, Nigerians deserve answers, accountability, and real solutions, not excuses, blame shifting, or endless finger pointing." I mean, the president is the commander-in-chief. At this moment, Nigerians are obviously very frustrated, really, especially when it has to do with insecurity matters. And you'll understand why some Nigerians will react this way. But I thought that the president was quite vocal. And I thought that his comment about, paying pensioners at this point should also be, looked into. Are they really being paid? Because I know that we've seen some police officers go out on the streets in protest against their pensions not being paid. Your thoughts?
Okay. Let me just make general programmatic comment, which is to say that we should learn from other jurisdictions. Mm-hmm. The Prime Minister has just been changed in the United Kingdom. Once the Prime Minister got to that position, and even before him, we've always talked about the politics of ideas. When Andy Boham assumed office, or even before then, people were saying, what are his ideas? What are the things he wants to pursue? Both the opposition and even members of his own party were saying, we don't know enough about what he wants to do. Eventually, he came in, 10-year plan, development in every postcode. I will make sure I transform UK economically. There's something tangible that you can hold on to. In Nigeria, what we do in our political systems is what they call tit for tat war. Turning this process into a war of attrition, the type we have in between US and Iran and Israel in the Middle East, is not what we recommend in this cycle. We would like our leading politicians to contest at the level of ideas, and for their followers, their spokespersons, to also talk about ideas that we can hold them accountable to. Nigerian politics are so degenerated that, in fact, some of these political parties, 6-7 months to the election, we don't know their manifesto. So what we want to hear from opposition leaders, whether it's Waziri Adamawa or it is Mr. Obi or Omoyele Sowore, is these are the ideas I'm proposing to Nigerians. Mm-hmm. This is what I will do to transform Nigerian lives. not personality attacks.
Right.
What we are getting up to this point is attacks on personality.
You're absolutely right. And that takes me to my next story. Okay. I don't know if I'll add that together. Meanwhile, Atiku Abubakar has fired back at the presidency after presidential spokesman Bayo Ononuga described his U.S. lobbying campaign as self-defeating and an affront to Nigeria's sovereignty, and shockingly declared that if Atiku were Chinese, he would be rotting away in jail. Atiku dismissed the statement as proof that the administration has chosen diversion over disclosure and insults over accountability, insisting that raising questions about publicly available records is not an attack on Nigeria's sovereignty, insisting that accountability is not foreign interference, but a fundamental democratic obligation. And, this is what I was talking about, the attack. I'd like your comment on it. And, Dr. Bat, you can wrap up on that, your thoughts.
I thought Frank Schreibel, Senior Special Assistant to Atiku Abubakar, statement and response to Mr. Bayo Ononuga was quite apt. Mm-hmm. The truth is that we on this table already had said a lot of the things that Mr. Bayo, in fact, I feel like he was watching this show and got a few points from here. Around, number one, an attack on, just questioning why Mr. Atiku Abubakar would challenge Nigeria's sovereignty by heading to the United States with this information. That was one. Number two was also talking about the fact that he had a case to answer. Rufai, you mentioned that yesterday, so it was quite interesting to see that his comment. And the response was, stop distraction, stop deflection tactic, answer the main crux of the matter. The main crux, which is asset forfeiture, which Mr. Ononuga did not in any way, address directly. All he
did. He said that.
And that's why I said. That's why I said directly. The particular one, I said directly. The particular one that was raised again were certain disclosures that were made anew, and they did acknowledge the fact that in the Supreme Court had ruled that it had no bearing with local elections, but that actual issue of whether or not there was asset forfeiture and what the implications of that was has not yet been settled. And he mentioned in his statement that ought to be done. Let's just settle this matter once and for all. That is what that new statement by Frank Schreibel made. Going back to, contest of ideas, which ought to be the level at which we play politics. And I just feel like it's such a disservice and cheating the people of a viable, proper, intellectual debate when it comes to the kind of leaders that we ought to choose. Instead of mudslinging. In fact, before I asked this morning, is that now part of the work of the, presidential spokesman, which is just to sit down and just, talk about someone and say, oh, this. And the same vein, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that jab at Atiku, even though he didn't mention his name. Let me just say, though, that in fairness to this administration, pensions have been paid. In fact, I understand that there are some recoveries made by the EFCC in terms of asset forfeiture that has gone towards the civil service and ensuring that pensioners are paid. Good. So that's one thing this administration has done quite well. But other things still persist. From President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, his own campaign manifesto is already being read by Nigerian people. His performance in his first administration, the previous campaign, how well he has been able to discharge those duties.
Right.
So
thank you for highlighting that aspect of the pension.
The matter about civil forfeiture of $460,000 in the United States has been settled. After the 2023 general election, the matter came up that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu should have been disqualified. And the Presidential Election Petition Commission, PEPC, addressed that matter. And they said it didn't apply. Because when you are taking a matter from another jurisdiction, for it to apply in your jurisdiction, you register it first. There was no registration. You can't just go and take a matter that has been resolved in another jurisdiction and just throw it. So the best that they can do is to keep talking about it, to influence public opinion. Yes. But it's a matter that had already been resolved in the 2023 election. And that was why I referred to...
No, how was it resolved?
No, I've just told you.
No, this not...
No. Was it disqualified? Was President...
I will comment on this after.
Was it disqualified?
It was not resolved.
It was one of the issues...
Dr. Abati, it was not resolved.
What Mr. Frank Schreibel was stating was...
conflict of jurisdiction.
It was not resolved.
conflict in terms of jurisdiction and the legal processes that you have to follow.
Yes.
Those who raised the allegation did not even follow that process, and that was the position at that time. What else could have been settled by that presidential election?
Fine, just respond to that.
But you can use it for public opinion, and
just respond to that
discredit people.
Because I want you to comment on the next
so it's just it's not a matter that
Dr. Bati says it was resolved. You have your own opinion.
With due respect, Dr. Abati, there was no resolution.
Okay.
You see, we were all in this country that time. What happened was that when they got the files from America, the time was already short in the filing and registration and all the court processes. And that's why the Supreme...
It was also a matter of jurisdiction.
It's just a matter of jurisdiction, yes. And I'm happy he made mention of jurisdiction because this was the same Dr. Abati about 2 weeks on this table that was defending that if a UK cloth Claire, what's her name?
I talked about registration. You have to register it.
That automatically they should not try for what is clear. Now we are talking about jurisdiction.
But why do you both say that it was not resolved?
It was not resolved because
the
matter was not. The court dismissed the matter.
Okay, you are saying it was a dismissal.
It has not gone through the process. Admit it. It has not gone through the full process of registration and everything.
All right, fine.
Things can still come back. Oji, when you talk the other one, I want to now talk the
so you can carry everything. So Dr. Bati, your stand is that the matter was decided at the presidential election committee.
Yes,
that's your stand. And your stance is the fact that it was not admitted.
So what they are
there was not
doubling down on
the fact that it wasn't admitted, can it
yes.
be looked into again at the in the next time? So those are the questions that
Nigerians. All the good things in life will come to you for that question.
Okay.
Dr. Abati, answer that question.
All right, good. So can it be looked
Dr. Abati,
into?
answer that question.
Those are the questions Nigerians will ask.
Doctor, down question to
an inquisition panel now.
Doctor, down question to Jiberi.
This is not a panel of inquisition.
All right.
That's not journalism.
Very good. All right, Rufai. Meanwhile, fresh pressure from Washington as U.S. Senator Ted Cruz has accused Nigeria of launching a public relations campaign instead of responding to American concerns about insecurity and violence against Christians. Ted Cruz was reacting to the U.S. House of Representatives vote to withhold 100% of U.S. assistance to Nigeria. In a post on X, Cruz stated that Nigeria's $9 million lobbying deal was an attempt to deflect rather than address U.S. concerns. He wrote in part, Nigerian officials have created an environment that facilitates mass violence against Christians and religious minorities by imposing blasphemy and Sharia laws and looking the other way at jihadists' atrocities. The U.S. government knows the Nigerian officials responsible for these policies. I have been pushing my bill to sanction them. And President Trump has even ordered military action instead of responding to American concerns. Nigerian officials waged a public relations campaign against critics. Now, Rufai, this has generated significant reactions. Paying $9 million to communicate Nigeria's efforts to protect Christians to U.S. government has been a hot topic of debate. But Ted Cruz's reference to Sharia and blasphemy laws will also be deeply controversial inside Nigeria, with many arguing that the country's security crisis is far more complex than Cruz's framing as a religious persecution issue, ignores the ethnic, economic, and political dimensions that drive violence in the Middle Belt and elsewhere. Before I take reaction, I'd like your thoughts on Ted Cruz's comment. I mean, this is just coming after that letter was revealed yesterday by Ononuga.
I mean, what Ted Cruz said is very apt. And that's why when the likes of this government and Baron Onuga was saying that it's a shame for Atiku to go to abroad and try to out our president and all of that, that is unpatriotic. Did what the government do, is it patriotic? Nigerian government. We say there's Christian genocide. Yes, there's killings of Muslims, there's killings of Ayilala worshippers, there's killings of Shokono worshippers by everybody. But you can't deny the fact that in some parts of this country, like the Plateau and some other part, there's a direct Christian genocide. Then what was the government reaction? Rather than stop the killing, Oji, Yes, we know they partnered with Trump and they got some terrorists killed. But rather than focusing on that, then they went to take lobbyists to go and say, oh, all lives are being killed. It's not only Christians. So it's not an aberration to the lives of the Christians that were already killed. To balance the argument Dr. Abati was making, Dr. Abati, you know me, I don't have any dog in the fire. Atiku too has case to answer. That's what Bayon Onuga too said as regards the William Jefferson case. So that it's not a case of Rufai is like this. Is that I highlighted it and Maria highlighting it. Doctor, Atiku too has case to answer. So he can't only say about Tinubu's own. He has case too to answer. They mention his name between the William Jefferson own and everything. Maybe the Bayon Onuga too will go and now, what did you call that word? Register the case here and bring it up against him and all of that for, you know, seeking disqualification or maybe criminal forfeiture or civil forfeiture, whatever you call it. Atiku too has his own to answer. So it's two of them that are going at each other in this that have their own to answer. So it's 50-50, no cheating. But as regards the privatization, I think I should just clarify something. Yes, when the privatization happened then, it brought some challenges as regards payments. You remember the time they used to make jokes about Nigerian, some pensioners that were not paid, Nigerian railway pensioners, daily times pensioners, people that work for all those privatization. But it is not also fair for President Tinubu to say that, because that privatization process too was largely very successful and saved this country. One person very dear to me worked extensively on those privatizations, Madam Ijoma Wogugu. And we know how some of those companies still exist today because of the transparency of the process of that privatization. Daily Times is still alive today because of the transparency of that privatization. I think somebody mentioned Transcorp.
Right.
It's still alive today. Those companies are still seeing the light of day. Yes, there were some that they sold to people, but, you know, there were challenges. People have challenges in businesses and all of that. But it's not also great to undermine the work of those people. I think that's just the balancing act I wanted to put out there.
Okay, very well. Thank you for your submission. Well, let's now...
Okay.
What?
I just wanted to say something.
Yeah.
Which is also a repeat, that we have successful PR companies here.
From yesterday,
the Nigerian government went and gave DCI
$9 million.
$9 billion in December.
Come on.
For a job that could easily be done by established PR. Let us encourage our own people when we make up our minds to spend Nigerian money.
Right.
Buy Nigeria to grow the Naira.
Yes, buy Nigeria.
Okay, that's their slogan,
yes,
right?
buy Nigeria. Well, thank you for highlighting our PR firms. We have PR firms here in Nigeria. Shall we now highlight...
I'm not into,
we have to move
I'm
on.
not into PR. I'm a public intellectual.
All right, we have to move on. Let's now highlight this moment that has the Nigerian Senate in stitches. Senator Adams Oshiomhole has playfully called out Senate President Godswill Akpabio for allegedly breaching their political truce over the massaging of a woman's legs aboard a private jet, calling it evidence that old habits don't die. Let's take a look.
I want to report to this House that the Senate President and I, we signed a truce of no more hostilities. And the Senate President breached the truce by reverting to a previous matter with a view to behaving like. So I told Mr. Senate President, the truce stand. You should not violate, I will not violate. You are my brother. You are my leader. You are my president. So that is all I want to say. I'm not going to read the order again. Order 72, I hereby drop it. Just to say, sir, protect vertically challenged people in the Senate. Agreement is agreement. So I assure you, I will never refer to the unsenatorial comment of bringing the man dead or alive. But I want to assure you that this chair will protect everyone, every single senator, and particularly my brother, my friend, my colleague, when we were governors, and in every respect, a leader in my zone, the civil senator Adams Oshiomhole. I hold you in very high esteem, and I assure you that agreement is agreement. I will not be.
All right. Nigerians are laughing because obviously you know that the Akpabio Oshiomhole dynamic in the Senate chamber is one of the most entertaining and politically significant relationships in the National Assembly. The other day we were
in the Senate of the Federal Republic has now motivated some Nigerians to say we have turned the Senate into a version of Big Brother Niger. And some people say it is now the House of Cruz.
It is the House
but
of
in
Cruz.
any case,
Right.
I hope that the good humor that the lawmakers often exhibit. While it is entertaining, we would also like to say that, they should bring the same energy, the same conviviality to their basic assignment in making laws for the good governance of Nigeria, which is what Section 4 of the 1999 Constitution talks about in terms of the responsibility of the legislature. But it's good to see the restored amity, friendship between the Senate President and Senator Adams Oshiomhole.
Yes.
And I hope this will last. I hope it will be sustained.
Yes, you don't want it to be. Why? You want content.
Because not our content. They were releasing some truths. There was accountability, there. Sometimes when...
Which accountability? About the AI-generated massaging?
Yeah. Wait, we have the
that was AI-generated.
Who said it was AI? Who said it was AI generated?
That was the response of Senator Oshiomhole.
I mean, we have the video there of Senator Oshiomhole saying that, this was an AI-generated
when the lady herself said she was going to release more.
The lady later contradicted herself. And she was not the one that it was AI.
It was AI. You are now
It's the lady.
The
lady said it was AI.
I want you guys to make sure that this was the resolution, that this was an AI-generated footage. Adams Oshiomhole said that at the Senate, and that was what was resolved at the moment.
So in this, when they had
in the rule about a sisterhood, you people should not be commenting like that about a sister.
Which sister? Which sister? I'm sorry. I have 5 siblings.
Okay, before you cast the first stone,
anybody that can release a video of me on a private jet being, massaged, aside from my husband, that I'm legally that is legally allowed to massage my feet.
Are you arranging AI people to release something?
Just challenge anybody.
Are you saying somebody should release AI about you?
They've done that before. You know that. You've seen it already.
What I'm saying is that in this year, when they had their gospel, we had issues around the NNPC, things that happened. We're hearing things that Nigerians want to hear. So sometimes when political heavyweights like this have some form of, a disagreement, the people benefit from information that is released.
No, with due respect, Ayo, I concur with what you said. And please, this is not laughing matter, because this is a very serious matter, as we're wrapping. It was from their basketballs we discovered, and Ireti Kingibe confirmed that she didn't sign the documents that led to Natasha's suspension in the Senate. So forgery happened. Nothing has been done. And please, I want to sound a note of warning for all you senators that you know a lot about that matter that you're not speaking up. Your conscience will eat you up and God will judge you.
All right.
I just want to leave it at that.
All right. Well, at the end of the day, we're just going to, clarify on this table again that the resolution was that was an AI-generated video. But I'm happy that they have resolved because, it's a huge distraction, I believe, in the Senate. We need to be discussing more urgent, important, national interest stories at the Senate. Well, more on the Senate. A video of a mansion allegedly belonging to Senator Engineer Kenneth Emeka Eze, representing Ebonyi's Central Senatorial District, has surfaced on social media. The mansion, sitting on a large property, features a long driveway flanked by palm trees, while the house features large Roman columns, almost resembling the White House. The footage was filmed by a blogger who claimed the mansion belonged to Senate President Godswill Akpabio, but the office of the Senate President has since denied the claim, saying he has no affiliation with the mansion. Ayo, this video has gone viral for all the wrong reasons. A White House-looking mansion allegedly belonging to a sitting senator is bound to raise eyebrows. The question Nigerians are asking is, how can a lawmaker afford this on his salary? Public servants with properties like this owe Nigerians a clear explanation. And the Code of Conduct Bureau should be asking the same question. Ayo.
This CCB is the one that should come on that question.
Yes.
Again, like has been said, the Senate President has denied that
Yes.
it's his mansion. And we'll get to the bottom of this because we'll, just ask a few questions. That is opulence at its finest, as it were. There's nothing wrong with...
At its ugliest.
But it's a fine building, Dr. Bati. It looks good.
Opulence
It
at
looks
its ugliest.
it looks fine.
This is really
in
someone
opulence. It's alleged. It's alleged.
Well, you can Google
yes,
it too.
we can check
we
it.
have our correspondents to go out there
Yes,
to make sure.
I'm just
that
trying
it
to
is-
be.
yes.
I'm ensuring that
All
it's
right.
fact-based and that it is an allegation that has been made. And on the surface of it, anyone who has worked hard for their money deserves a little enjoyment here and there and should indulge. What we don't want are people who cannot demonstrate how they are able to afford such opulence and are spending money on this, and yet their constituent members, if it's a senator, are languishing in poverty. This is a stark irony of the Nigerian story, where the rich seem to be getting richer and the poor seem to be getting poorer, where there is no accountability as to where someone just blows overnight. You come into an election, you win your seat, and all of a sudden you are living a lavish lifestyle that you cannot account for. And that's why I call again the government authority, the CCB, to come into questions. A lot of these senators, House of Reps members, political appointees need to answer certain. There are people that have private jets that they've never done any job in their lives except be politicians.
Right.
There are people that have built multiple houses, own properties in Nigeria, across Nigeria and abroad, and have never done any work in a day that is from the private sector, just political jobbers. How did they make that money? This is a question mark that is one of the fundamental problems that we have here in Nigeria. And so whilst we make that investigation and conclusion as to who owns that house, the onus is on the CC, because what I keep preaching is prevention. Yeah. How do we ensure that state resources are not, siphoned into personal pockets? That is the main question, and it's happened for too many years. It means institutions are faulty and are not doing their jobs as they ought to.
This whole week alone, we have scrutinized the budget, the 2026 budget, with all of these weird allocation, Atiku accusing of, duplication of budgets. We saw, 8.5 billion going to churches, 22.15 billion going to palaces. This really is the sort of scrutiny that we need.
They shouldn't tell us later that this building is community center.
Community center for who?
Because they said
this is like you have called out the agency that's supposed to scrutinize this. But we told you we will be reading your comments. So I'll take this comment on Leke Leke from Joe Abdul, who wrote, "It appears that the Nigerian Senate, under the leadership of Mr. Akpabio, has been perceived as a source of comedy when individuals entrusted with legislative responsibilities begin to disregard their duties. Their work may be seen as a parody. I wish electoral outcomes genuinely reflected the will of the people. Some individuals may never assume positions of leadership again." Well, thank you to Joe Abdul on Leke Leke. We're going to continue to highlight your comments on Leke Leke. Now, let's take this story in aviation. On Thursday, Nigerians reacted with fear and relief after an Enugu Air aircraft operating from Lagos to Benin overshot its runway, veering off and coming to rest in a bushy area surrounding the Benin airport in Edo State. There were 63 passengers and 5 crew members on board. Let's take a look at the aftermath.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Thank you. Well done, Oga. Thank you.
Bring that exhibition here. Oh, my goodness.
Run for my life. Me will survive this one and run. I not die again now. When less cool.
Lord, I thank you for my life, so Jesus.
Well, All passengers and crew were safely evacuated, and the Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau has launched an immediate investigation. Enugu Air confirmed the incident and warned of possible temporary adjustments to flight schedules, while many Nigerians online questioned the condition of the runway and the circumstances that led to the runway excursion. The NSIB must investigate this thoroughly, and its findings must be made public. Aviation safety is not negotiable. When I saw this video circulating yesterday, my heart sank. I was like, I hope everyone is safe. I mean, Enugu Air is saying it was a runway excursion, but you know, we had other passengers reporting their eyewitness stories that, you know, it looked like, you know, a forced landing of some sort. The runway in Benin has been called into question at this moment. Your thoughts?
I mean, so like you said, there are many accounts,
yes.
But when accidents like this happen, let's allow the accident investigation bureau to give us a report on it. I think they've released a preliminary report, and then from there they take it up from there. So let's allow them. But we just pray everybody is safe. We thank God that we didn't have any mishap and any loss of life.
Everyone is safe. Dr. Abati, quick comment before I go.
It's the first principle in aviation because of the cost, because of the extent. But this is a case of a very lucky escape. Because there was no fire.
Correct.
That aircraft could have burst into flames.
We thank
God. And there were no casualties. But it's good that Enugu Air has said, you know, this will be investigated by the AIB and other relevant agencies to find out what exactly happened. But it's also a reminder that airlines should take appropriate precautions because, of course, as we have always said, safety is very important. There was a lady there looking for babe. Where is babe? Babe,
where is my babe?
Are you okay, my babe?
Yes.
And all that.
It must have been
some people thought that was comical. It was not comical.
No.
Because imagine the trauma that all the persons who went through this will have gone through. Should they require any assistance, Enugu Air should also provide that assistance, assistance in terms of counseling and whatever support they may need.
Well said. Thank you for your submission. Now, to a video that is sparking outrage and calls for accountability within the Nigerian police force. In this now viral clip, an officer was seen confronting a driver during a stop and search and threatening him that if he were Igbo, he would have been immediately detained. Let's take a look.
I'm leaving Akure. Okay. Sorry?
I'll do better to me.
I don't have anything now. I don't have anything. I would have given you.
I just want to see you are very close. That's all. Is another person or Igbo or something? I'm just laughing.
I don't get anything. That's why. If I get, I will give you now. Can I have my driving license here? What can I do now?
No. Go and park. See that.
You have my driving license here. I'm recording you. To let you know, I'm recording you right now. So, can I have my driving license? Check your paper and then let's go. Better. Don't shout, leave him. I'll go him on record. But I've already told you, you have my paper. My paper is correct. Everything is there. You are with my driving license. I haven't committed any. Offense.
I know. Are you okay?
I don't go to that level.
A Nigerian police officer on duty in uniform openly telling a citizen that his ethnicity would have determined whether he was detained or not. This is not a slip of tongue. That is a window into a mindset. And it is exactly the kind of institutionalized ethnic profiling that erodes public trust in law enforcement. Dr. Abati, your thoughts?
Well, first, the Nigerian police force should investigate this. The person was recorded. The identity should not be difficult for the Nigerian police force to establish, because these are the persons who discredit that institution and who cause division within the Nigerian society. It's called the Nigerian Police Force. It's a police force for all Nigerians, whether the person is on a highway to Ibadan or whatever highway it is. And the man also spoke Yoruba. Perhaps he's a Yoruba person, now saying that he would slap the person and that he would, would have detained him if he was Igbo. So this officer should be identified and sanctioned. The present Inspector General of Police has been calling for professionalism. And he has been saying during this election season, there will be a lot of professionalism. Now, this is somebody who has to be disciplined. The police force has a disciplinary committee. Number 3 is that during NSAS, one of the demands of the protesters was that all these policemen should be subjected to psychiatric tests. There was some motion in that direction. Some people, I think in the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, they were taken to Abuja. They said they would be, but even if they did at that time, that is a program that should be sustained. We cannot have people with mental health problems on the streets of Nigeria, and you give them guns, and you ask them to check for papers. Absolutely. And it is after a fashion that when Nigerian policemen check all your papers and your papers are correct, they still will not allow you to go. No. In fact, some people have been reported as asking for fire extinguisher. If they don't ask for fire extinguisher, or if you have it, they will ask for that triangular thing. Sea caution. They call it. They will ask for sea caution. Right. If you produce sea caution, they may ask for your birth certificate.
Birth certificate?
Yeah.
You have heard that before.
Have you not heard? They seize people's phones.
Right.
They will be asking for your bank account.
This is really
number.
Unfortunate. But we have highlighted this video.
Yes.
And now we have to make sure that the Nigerian police force, take note of these officers. And, there should be disciplinary action. Now to stunning scenes from the Kaduna-Abuja Expressway, with people gathering to examine giant clusters of a strange white foam, making for quite the public spectacle. Since the clusters appeared this week, hundreds of people have stopped to take photos and videos of it, with many sharing their clips on social media. Let's take a look.
Allah mai girma ga muna hanya za mu tafiya su Allah kuma ya sa mun ga wani abin da ban taba ganin irin wannan abin ba a rayuwa na wai kumfa na fitowa da ƙasa kun ga daga inda yake fitowa gashi nan daga inda yake fitowa gashi nan bari mu saka muku yau ai ka shiga wallahi ka shiga ina nan ruwa ne nan in ka shiga nan wallahi sai ka tafi wallahi.
Well, all right. The National Environmental Standards and Regulations Enforcement Agency has since warned the public to keep their distance. The agency has visited the site to take samples to determine their composition and potential environmental impact. But while safety concerns remain, people should exercise caution until it's established what this is. What is this? Have you seen this before? I mean, it looked really shocking on social media. It's been, circulating all week.
Massive bubble bath.
Yes.
But it's not as beautiful as it looks. Yes. And there should be, and thank you, Oji, for that caution. Yes. NESRA, in its initial reports, are suspecting a spill from a tanker carrying a substance that might have mixed with water, and this foam emerged. However, what is there is that you don't know what the substance, it beggars belief that people, we're just curious. Look at them taking pictures. They are posing with something that they have no clue about. I think the first thing is to err on the side of caution. An advisory has been issued. Please let us not use not just the foam, but they even said the water in the surrounding areas, because they need to understand how far this chemical has spread, and until they ascertain whether or not it's poisonous, we don't know the environmental impact of this, not just on human lives, but also on water bodies and even animals in that area. But this is a bigger conversation around even when we talk about environmental assessment and impact of goods being carried. What happened to the vehicle if it's true that it's a vehicle that upturned its content? That's why we see what we can see now. But I think that the most important thing is that if you are watching, please stay away from it until we can determine to what extent how corrosive the chemical is or how dangerous it is.
More on rare sightings. This one excites me. Let's highlight these rare and stunning wildlife sightings that are taking social media by storm. All happening right here in Nigeria. In a new video that emerged on Thursday, an adult elephant was spotted in Adoni, local government area of Rivers State. It comes as a farmer in Ijebu-Igbo, Ogun State, captured a large wild elephant with visible tusks moving through his cocoa farm. Let's take a look.
So my fans, I saw an elephant today, not in a zoo, but in our local bush. like in my village, I don't see elephant for the first time. Not in a zoo. I've never been a fan of going to the zoo because I actually don't find it interesting. But I came home today and I saw a very big elephant.
Live in Enugu Market the town. Live at Andoni full time, live.
All right, Nigerians online are reacting with a mix of wonder, humor, and genuine conservation concerns. Many are urging communities not to harm the animals, pointing out that African forest elephants are critically endangered. This one excites me because I would have, loved to be there. But, it raises a lot of concerns. Yeah. How are they coming out now in review, really quickly?
So, I would have loved to be there if it was only it was safari. But it's not safari.
No, they are harmless.
But you know what is happening, Oji?
These are harmless.
In fact, we should be crying that we are seeing them like this. Because it means that we are attacking their own ecosystem. We are attacking their own habitat. And that's why they are migrating to our own habitat. Oh, please, they are not meat, so don't kill them.
Please, they can't remove their tusks.
Please,
as
don't remove their tusks.
Very important.
You can just admire them from afar and wave and say, "Elephant, you that boy." It should remain
just
at that.
Wave.
Too.
Yeah,
please,
beautiful. Well, we need to hear from the conservation and live animals.
Get them into a zoo.
To get into a zoo. God, I don't like that, but all right.
In the Andoni area, there is a community managed elephant park.
Oh, that's good.
Which has been there.
Yes.
But what is the state of that park? How is it well managed?
Yes.
These elephants are now escaping from the park into places where they can be spotted. And if you look at the tusk of that elephant, that's a very expensive tusk. And that's why it's relevant that this elephant should not be attacked.
Please, don't
should not end up as a pepper soup.
They should not.
Because when you said you were excited, I thought you were thinking of pepper soup.
No, I don't eat elephant meat. No, I don't eat elephant meat at all. I like pepper soup, but not elephant meat. Please, don't attack this beautiful endangered species. Now let's highlight, before we take our good news report, let's highlight the photo of the day featuring President Bola Ahmed Tinubu receiving his grandkids and family on a visit at the State House. The picture shared on Thursday by President's daughter-in-law, Leal Tinubu. The president is seen sharing a sweet moment with his grandchildren along Leal, his son, Sheyi Tinubu, and Vice President Kashim Shettima, with the post captioned, "An afternoon with Grandpa." I thought this was beautiful, and even the videos were circulating online. We did so. We don't get another.
Get another one. Now our Papa be this way.
All right, fantastic. That was beautiful to see. How many grandchildren does he have? I think they are about...
We don't count children in Africa.
Okay, we
they
don't.
know how to catch their grandparents.
By the way, the Riala Foundation is named after the first girl.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you for that.
Children,
Thank you very much for that. All right, beautiful pictures. Now to our good news report. Let's highlight Nigeria's under-19 boys table tennis team for making a bold statement for the future of Nigerian table tennis, winning the ITTF Africa Youth Championships team event title in the most spectacular fashion in Accra, Ghana. The ITTF Africa Youth Championships is the premier youth table tennis competition on the continent for young Nigerians. Antoine Kadiri, Fabumi Matthew, Sultan Agumbaide, and Matthew Kuti stood between Nigeria and glory, and they delivered down 2-0 against Egypt in the final. The team staged an incredible comeback, winning 3-2 to claim the title. This victory qualifies Nigeria for the ITTF World Youth Championships, giving these young players a shot at the global stage.
I'm a legend in the making, I'm a champion. Remember this, I'm a king. I'm a legend in the making, I'm a champion. Remember this, I'm a king. I'm a legend in the making, I'm a so cool.
clapping. I mean, our champions. Congratulations to Nigeria's under-19 table tennis heroes. Nigeria is incredibly proud of you. Congratulations, really. On that note, I'd love to thank you all for your great analysis, as always, on what's trending today. You all go have a great weekend. Well, that's all I have for you on what's trending today. Here, we have Champion from Fireboy. Enjoy it, and I'll see you all next week.
I'm a king, I'm a legend, and I'm a champion.